Flame on! How's everybody doing today? It's J Heat Blaze, and welcome to another episode of New Direction. Without further ado, let me bring my co-host, Jared from Comics League. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. So, what are we talking about this week, Jared?
I believe we are going green this week when we discuss Green Lantern. I like how we would handle Green Lantern in I assume the end of the new 52 going to Rebirth. By the way, yes, before you ask, DCU in no way happens in our universe.
DCYOU. Now, if you're worried about the Earth 2 saga, Robin, Son of Batman, stories like that, those are self-contained Elseworlds book. We wouldn't banner them under a whole initiative.
Absolutely not, because first off, Earth 2 is fantastic. So I'm not interfering with anything that it just happens to work out that it's a popular Elseworlds book, so we don't have to even touch that.
Pretty much.
But the reason why I really wanted to cover this episode is because I've done many streams. J Heat has watched them as a viewer and then as a co-host. I am a huge fan of Green Lantern, particularly like the Jeff Johns run, and then like the new 52 is really where I got really into Green Lantern, because that's where you have like Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz coming in. You have like the Third Army, Third Army? No, I think Third was pre. But anyway, the point is that during that whole stretch of Green Lantern lore, I've basically fell in love with Green Lantern, because when you think about it, Green Lantern is the closest DC has to Star Wars.
That's a fair assumption.
Yeah, and I'm of the opinion that the Green Lantern movie, while flawed, is not as bad as people say it is.
Oh, it's very flawed.
It's flawed, but some people treat it like it's Justice League, and it's not.
And a quick segment before we go forward. If you're here for the first time, first off, welcome. Second, this is our New Direction series where we talk about certain storylines and how we would have handled it and see whether or not it comes across better. So far, we have a pretty solid track record with Superman and Scion, Wonder Mom, and Jared, do you want to describe our last video? A quick recap?
Are you talking about the one I'm thinking of?
Yes.
All right, so what we did was we wanted to have like this big epic battle, this big epic event. So, all right, what we did is we had mythologically accurate Thor, not MCU Thor, show up and wreck the Justice League. Basically, imagine it as the first 5 minutes of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Or Thor from God of War 5 Ragnarok.
Yeah, pretty much. So we roll with that, and that actually went pretty well, because basically what we did in the first couple of, in the previous New Directions, is we redid the new 52. Really what we did is we extended it, because at the point in the actual timeline when new 52 Superman died, that was the end of that era of comics. So we kind of extended it a little bit, give it more of a transition, and Rebirth is going to be not necessarily a vindictive marketing stint that it was in the comics. And by the way, if it was a marketing stint, if Rebirth was the right direction, how come it sold worse than New 52? Just wanting to bring that up. But our thing was, for Rebirth, first off, we're giving more of a transition to Rebirth than the New 52 did. Because again, that was one of the weaknesses of Rebirth. There was no transition. It was like, nope, it's over, Rebirth. So I was like, okay, this makes no sense.
But given the constant infighting going on behind the scenes and the clash, there was just a lot. There were so many reasons why the New 52 fell apart. Features end. Excuse me. But I will say this: it really was a waste of potential. But please check out our previous New Direction episode if you want more detail on how a mythologically accurate Thor could kill Superman.
Yes. That may be a spoiler, but it's J.H. Show. I'll give you that one.
Pretty much. So, without further ado, these next few videos are essentially going. These next few episodes of New Direction are essentially going to be a transition piece leading into Rebirth, starting with Green Lantern.
In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
Indeed, indeed.
There you go. And you fans of Green Lantern the animated series will love this.
So, okay, we settle this, we start this right where Godkiller Justice League Gods Among Us ends off, where the majority of the league's beaten up, the JLA is pretty much all but slaughtered, and John Stewart is in no condition to be a Green Lantern anymore.
So that's when, for right now, he passes on the duty of being Earth's Green Lanterns to Cruz and Baz and says, hey, you protect Earth right now because Hal and I got wrecked.
Not to mention Gardner and Kyle Rayner are still on their or the rotation on Oa.
Mm-hmm.
So until they finish, you'll be in charge of helping protect Earth.
Yeah, so essentially, this would largely be, the way I think about it, the same basic story as the Green Lanterns story from Rebirth, because I feel like that was a good one, because what we're doing here, because remember, at this point, Jessica Cruz is relatively just introduced, so this is going to be where we're going to learn more about her, learn more about her partnership with Baz, and you see them start to grow as characters, because right now, they're the newest people to ever don a ring, so you want to, in other words, we're doing what DC did, by the way. They give us time to grow with these characters instead of them being forced upon us.
I couldn't agree more.
In other words, organic storylines. So there you go.
And for you Green Lantern animated series fans, we start the first arc with a certain distress call somewhere in the solar system.
Yes.
Got Kyle and Guy are too far away to respond, so it's up to Simon and Jessica Cruz.
Yes, so they fly out there, and they find this weird ship just floating in space. It's very derelict. It's got like holes in it. It's seen some action. And they're picking up. So Jessica's scanning it with her ring, and she says, "Hey Simon, I'm picking up some weird energy coming from it. It sounds like it matches that of the Red Lanterns."
Are we even ready to fight these guys?
According to John, we are, because we're the Green Lanterns right now, so we don't really have a choice, do we?
Technically, we're bench sitters while the Justice League's recovering. In terms of actual lantern business, Rayner and Guy are still on rotation. We're just bench sitters right now.
All right, let me explain this, Simon, and this is something that I recently came to, that the Flash told me, and Hal told me before the whole Amazo virus thing went off. The Rings would not have chosen us if they didn't think we could handle this.
This is a really bad time to finally get kicked off the bench.
Hey, well, we all know we can't bring out the heavy hitters, so it's up to us to step up. So they enter the ship, and they find there's evidence of because there's blood on the walls. In other words, whoever was in the ship got messed up. It's kind of like when Abin Sur came to Earth. Of course, if this occupant is who I think it is, he survives. But the point is, he is messed up.
Definitely. And then all of a sudden, another Green Lantern swings by, and this is essentially Kilowatt. This is where they meet Kilowatt for the first time.
Yeah, he's like, "What's up, poozers?
Get away from him." And then we open the corridor to see a very beaten up Razor barely hanging on.
Now, all right, to be clear, some of Green Lantern the animated series has happened, obviously some stuff hasn't, like the whole anti-monitor showing up, because that was a really stupid version of the anti-monitor. They could have picked they could have done something different. The same story could have been done with the Manhunters, but that's besides the point.
Basically, instead of the Manhunters, we'll just call them Kronos and move on.
Okay, that works. I like that. So Jessica goes, "Kellogg, why are you showing concern for a Red?" and then Kilowog goes, Poozers, he's not just any ordinary red. This guy has saved my and Hal's bum many, many times.
I'm pretty sure one quest of redemption is not enough to make up for spreading an entire galaxy of hate.
Trust me, he hasn't done. He has done way more than that. I just don't have time to go into our history right now. He needs a medic.
So they take Razor to Oa, and the Guardians aren't exactly happy with them.
Yeah. So and he's like, and essentially, so while he's in the med bay, Kilowog is being like interrogated by the Guardians, and Ganthet goes, okay, so let me see if I have this straight. You stumble upon a Red Lantern ship, and you bring the occupant to Oa.
Technically, he was betrayed and left for dead. Shut it, Poozer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The only reason why I am not freaking out right now is because I have trusted you humans ever since Jordan first put on the ring. I'm going to trust you now. Do not disappoint me, because I really don't want to endure a lecture from Appa Aliapsa. And yes, I remember a few of the Guardians' names.
Okay, Hal couldn't have been that reckless when he first started out. Jess, you got a lot to learn about being the Green Lantern.
Yeah, and by the way, and then watch like Kilowog go, just because there are rules doesn't mean we have to follow them all the time.
Here, I heard you were such a stickler, Kilowog.
Let's just say you humans have rubbed off on me.
Don't ever tell Hal I said that, Pooh.
Yes. And for the love of God, do not tell Guy. I will never live it down. Like, I just love how everyone in the DC universe seems to hate Guy. It's so hilarious.
Wait, how? Okay, if we're immediately Guy and Kyle on rotation right now, why aren't they being sent here on this Red Lantern case? Well, Gardner picked a bar fight in the mess hall, and Rayner, he's still under reprimand for his affair with Sinestro's daughter.
Mm-hmm. What's Guy doing? Oh, he's on Prime duty. Yes, that's happened.
Yeah, because remember in Green Lantern, the animated series, he was made an honor god.
Yeah, and remember also in the comics, after Infinite Crisis, he was put on Prime duty, meaning he's guarding. He's one of the Lanterns perpetually guarding Superboy Prime,
who still went on a rampage in this universe.
Yes, exactly. So the basic plot of Infinite Crisis has happened, except in the new 52 version of it.
It's a more contained version of events.
Yeah, and by the way, the timeline for the new 52 was stretched in our version. We don't have to fit everything in 5 years.
It's roughly 10 to 12.
Yeah, I'd say that's a proper version of it. And the Justice League has been, they're familiar with each other enough. It's just they never formally teamed up. That's how you get, like...
I agree.
Other stuff. Yeah, exactly.
And,
so, yeah, all right. So, need to reconnect my microphone. All right. So, then I would say, okay, so what's next?
Well, we get a brief recap of Godkiller, Justice League Gods Among Us with a little editorials note at the bottom.
Yeah. Please see Justice League number 21. Justice League gets their ass kicked. And that'll be my editorial note.
You do realize that regardless of Loki's shenanigans, these pantheons, at least for the most part, honor the cosmic balance. So whatever Loki was trying to pull on Earth couldn't have been good. We have to investigate this. Slow your roll, Poozer. You're not in the position to make threats, especially in front of the Guardians. But yeah. I'm not threatening. That's an honest-to-God point. Stand down, Poozer. Hal might be able to charm his way out of a situation like this, but you're nowhere near that graceful.
That says a lot because Hal is not graceful, obviously. In some ways, Hal is not graceful at all. So then we get they go and visit Razor in the med bay. is he still out, or is he like waking up at this point?
This is around the same time he wakes up because like the original show, he was searching for Aya's consciousness this entire time.
Okay, there you go. Well, we can go with that. So they walk in, Rise. He's waking up, and then and then Kikila goes, Razor, you're alive, and the Razor goes, oh god, it's you.
Aya. And then slowly through an exposition scene, we get the reveal that at least he believes Aya's consciousness was reaching out to him and want him to go to Daxium 5. But really, it was just Loki messing with him.
Okay. Yeah. And he goes, wait, Loki? And then Cruz goes, yes, on Earth there are these beings called gods that mess with people a lot.
Some worse than others. And from his pantheon, Loki's essentially the god of mischief. So he pretty much got a good laugh at your expense.
Mm-hmm. So then, and they say, so then, what was it? What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. He also looks at Simon and Jessica and goes, oh, no, there are more of you.
Do humans get that bad of a rap, or does Hal just get around?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, and so then what? So then what happens? Okay, so we're at like that with the, and so then they ask Razor. Okay, so who attacked? Oh, how? So what happened to your ship? Because when we when we found you, it looked like you had been you had basically gone through a cheese grater.
I remember being in Daxium 5. Aya was speaking to me something about an anti-life in Erebus. Erebus? The primordial of chaos? He's nothing but a myth. He's real. He's very real. He's ripped realities and multiverses and dimensions asunder. He makes Krona look like small fry in comparison. But he doesn't have a vessel to connect. That's what this Loki was planning. He's trying to use Aya as a vessel to awaken Erebus, or at the very least grant him leverage with Darkseid. Wait, so you mean to tell me after that whole deal with Kronos, Aya's robot body was on Earth this entire time? It would explain a lot.
And then and then Baz goes, it was probably Waller. Knowing her, she probably grabbed the body and brought it to Earth. I swear we had the overall human race had no idea that Aya's body was on here. Just we have this lady named Amanda Waller who will do stuff without telling us.
And she's very shady even by government standards.
So take it from us, not our fault. If you want, we could go have a chat with her immediately.
Oh yes, we will have a chat. But something tells me I wouldn't honor human regulations if I were to confront this Waller.
All I ask, don't kill her. We can have a nice chat with her. You can threaten her, that's fine, but we can't actually kill her.
Because then we'd be forced to retaliate, then you'll cause friction with the Green Lantern Corps and Earth, and it'll just be the biggest
Trust
mess.
Me, no one benefits in this case.
And this is when Kyle Rayner enters the room. Okay, I read the dossier report. Are we really going to pick a fight with Waller and Argus over a piece of scrap metal?
Okay, good plan. We'll bring Batman. He'll know what to do.
And then Razor uses his rage to repower his ring and fire a pod shot at Kyle.
Hey, whoa. Who let a Red Lantern in here?
Given the context, I probably deserve that.
Yeah. He's like, okay, Razor, cool your jets, dude. We're all on your side here.
Wait, there's one thing I want to know. How was Waller able to get Aya's body to Earth in the first place?
You know, we don't know either. Trust me, it's odd. We ourselves don't know. She has her connections. She has this team called the Suicide Squad. Long story. And she has a few space-worthy individuals. She probably heard about your and Kilowog and Hal's little adventure in the Outer Rim. I'm just calling it the Outer Rim because I can't remember exactly what that was called. And she probably sent him to retrieve her from Aya. I mean, to retrieve Aya's body.
which would be essentially a blank slate because Aya's consciousness sacrificed itself against Kronos.
Not
Oh,
necessarily, as Kyle says. I've been reading that it is possible that her consciousness, since it was Green Lantern energy, was not destroyed or wiped. It was just moved.
what would anyone have to gain by removing an entity of willpower?
Not necessarily for the willpower, for the secrets that she holds in terms of the Green Lantern Corps.
Wouldn't be the Guardians are obviously hiding something.
Oh, big surprise, says Guy Gardner as he walks in. The Guardians are not telling us the full story. Stop the presses.
If we take the legend of Erebus into account, he can't interact with our dimension without a vessel. And he'll need a lot of cosmic power to pull it off.
That would be Aya's consciousness. Now, okay, before I say anything, if we're going to Earth, we have to at least contact the Justice League so that they know all this stuff, because they are going to want to know this, because chances are it will involve a battle on Earth. Trust me, lately, there's been a lot of stuff happening on Earth.
So that's the same woman who literally put two speedsters against each other, which nearly resulted in the destruction of the world.
Yes. So I think we should at least contact the JLA, and they'll be able, and so we can at least let Batman know what's going on. Because if anyone should know what's going on, it's Batman.
I'm surprised the team's still intact after what Thor did to them. I heard the reports; it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, okay, so where do I begin? Hawkgirl is wingless right now, and they're growing back. Wonder Woman is on the Amazon island healing from having her arm ripped off. And we lost a Superman. And Clark is...
We won't tell you which one. You're going to have to watch the video.
Yeah. And Clark is... And the surviving Superman is currently restricted to a suit of armor to, like, heal. And Batman is kind of out of commission, so right now Nightwing is taking over as Batman.
And this would have been right after his Agent 37 days, which was in exchange for Bruce to be exonerated for killing the Joker. Mm-hmm. At least Nightwing would have to do reconnaissance work for the government for a while, at least as a gesture of goodwill. So this spins out a spiral, and this just goes from there. And
by the way, that was also a really good Tom King series, by the way. Just wanted to put that out there.
Definitely.
So okay, Razor, do we have your word that if we bring you to Earth, you won't kill Waller?
I still say we should take his ring as a precaution. Simon, you do realize the Red Lanterns literally are infused with their rings.
Yeah, so read the manual, dude.
Hey, I got recruited literally 6 months before you did.
And then Simon turns around and just punches Guy Gardner in the face.
Yep.
and then as Guy Gardner's on the ground, he's like, why does everyone do that?
Because you're a blowhard and you have a very punchable face.
Yeah, don't tell Batman. Okay, so Razor, we'll let you keep your ring, but do we have your word? On Aya, do we have your word?
I'm not going to like this one bit.
Because let me put it to you this way. The quicker we can get out of this, the quicker we can, the quicker and the smoother we can have this conversation with Waller, the easier it will be to get Aya back. I need you to trust me on this. And this is Kellogg speaking.
Even if you reactivate her, she won't be the same. Is it really worth the endeavor? You don't know that. Okay, Lover Boy's obviously in denial. This is Gardner I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you should have seen Clark when Diana was out of commission. We thought he was gonna burn the world down.
Wait, Superman almost became a tyrant?
No. Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
You got a lot to catch up on, Gardner.
Yeah, it's like, how long have you been in space?
Hey. I literally had to do a double rotation because John had to train you two.
Yeah, Good point. But all right. So all right. So we're all good. All right. Kilowog, you stay here and coordinate. We'll go to Earth.
And then we time skip like 2 issues, to speed along.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get this straight. You four went completely against the Guardians, brought a Red Lantern of all things with you, and then storm in my facility demanding answers.
Oh, not just that. We brought Batman.
Stand down. What? You didn't get proper clearance, and you didn't even have the Guardians' permission to come here in the first place.
Yes, we did, and we called you ahead of time. It's not my fault that other Lois Lane didn't tell you. We called the League.
What are you talking about? The watchtower has been compromised for the past 3 days. So any signal you could have sent here was obviously intercepted.
Oh, I didn't think of that. And this is Guy Gardner. And then, but no, Batman moves like he's going to punch him, but stops, and you see Guy Gardner flinch.
Yeah, it's a good laugh.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
You didn't honestly think I knew you'd come for the body the moment I had it retrieved, did you?
Yeah, I knew you would come for the body. The only thing we have to ask is, why are you interested in a robot body right now?
Let's see. Powers of the Pantheon, Loki going off the deep end and sending Thor, who nearly crippled both versions of the League, just to get to a cosmic trinket, who obviously has multiversal connections in terms of power. Secrets we could exploit, or at the very least have a better understanding. And your guardians are nothing more than self-righteous pricks who nearly wiped out the entire galaxy with those manhunters.
And then Guy Gardner walks up and goes, Amanda, every single movie I have seen about people trying to use robots to protect themselves always ends up very badly.
Even the Guardians learned this lesson. This is not going to end well for you.
Hell, that we learned that the last time we learned that in the Outer Rim last time.
Oh, I have no intention of reactivating her. I just need the data to fully understand what Loki would risk open warfare with other beings and factions just to secure this piece of cosmic tin.
Wait,
I just want.
What makes you think that that a Green Lantern construct has any information on the Pantheon?
If the Guardians are the keepers of knowledge in the universe, then surely they have dirty secrets we could exploit to prevent further invasions, or at the very least another one of Hera's petty escapades.
And second of all, okay, I get that you want to get intel on the Pantheon, and that's admirable, but have you ever thought of going to Wonder Woman and asking questions?
And do you really think the Amazons would openly disclose such information?
Wonder Woman would. She's got no predilections about the Greek gods.
True, but we both know her apprehension to mine and occasionally the government's tactics.
Okay, that's a good point.
I may have to resort to using the halfling as leverage, which only would have made the situation worse.
If her father's Superman, yeah, that's literally the worst thing you could do.
Just be glad I'm being remotely cordial about this. If it weren't for Batman, I would have had my forces attack you on sight.
Amanda, we both know that wouldn't have worked out that well, because you're forced. You have like the best you got, Suicide Squad. We have the Green Lantern rings.
JLA, half of which are counters to your powers, whether physically or psychically. Sure, the lover boy would have been a bit of a wild card since he can't control his rage.
And then Gardner goes, yeah, but we have Batman.
Do you? You forget, he's technically a vigilante for killing the Joker. And he has contingencies on the whole lot of you.
Yeah, but the thing, Waller, yes, I have contingencies, but right now they're the ones thinking clearly about this.
And you're not the one who had to endure political and sociological fallout from 3 invasions within the span of 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very losing debate. Okay, you can have the data, we'll look the other way, just give Aya back. We're not just going to give in to this woman. Razor.
Just give us the robot, and we'll all be happy. And then Waller goes, and what if I say no? And then all of the lanterns hold up their rings like they're going to shoot her and go, oh, you don't have a choice. Either you can have the data, but if you don't give us back Aya's body, at least the body, you're going to have to deal. You're going to be seeing green for a long time.
Given
hell with Razor, you'll be seeing red.
Initiate protocol Alpha 7. See, that's the thing with you lanterns. You still need some measure of concentration to utilize your emotional powers. So if I disrupt your conversation with psychic attacks, you can't hurt me.
Yeah.
And Razor just powers through the pain and lunges at her.
Yeah, and then let's say I got it. He cuts off her hand. He's like, okay, do not test me. Give me the body or I will take your head.
Feisty. You know, organic women are much more susceptible. Why you want to waste yourself on a toy is beyond me.
And then all of a sudden, you hear, enough! And then Superman flies down in the Unchained armor and goes, okay, I take a week off and everything goes to hell. Someone fill me in on what's going on and why is Amanda Waller bleeding? And then they fill him in and he goes...
Basically, the Cronus mission, Aya's body ended up on Earth. Loki tried to steal it. Thor attacked us. Waller wanted some intel. That's why she sent Suicide Squad in space to steal the body. And now Razor's pissed off.
When is Razor ever not pissed off? And that's what Gardner says. And Superman goes, all right, can we all just... Okay, let's all just calm down before everything's like bleed and let's stop cutting things off of each other. Waller, give her the body right now, or you're gonna have to deal with the Green Lantern Corps and the Justice League.
You'd really turn against the United States government, Boy Scout?
Oh, wait. Here's what you don't understand, Waller. I'm the leader of the Justice League, not the Justice League of America. We're protecting the entire world. And what you're doing is threatening the security of the entire world, the United States included. So the way I see it, you can't afford to have the pissed off Green Lantern Corps right now.
Then help us with our investigation. I'll return the body if you escort me to Oa to converse with the Guardians directly. This will be a full cooperation. Send me to Oa, and the body's yours the moment we land. A fair deal given the circumstances, and I won't have the Lanterns blackmailed for trespassing on government property.
Yeah, just you. No one else, no Suicide Squad, no one. Just you, disarmed, completely everything.
Are we seriously going to trust her after everything she's pulled? It's the best deal we're going to get without risking an incident.
Okay, you have a deal, Waller.
Good. Let me just cauterize this wound and we'll be ready to launch in about 30 minutes.
And then Superman turns to Kilowog and he goes, the next time you guys show up on Earth and try and wreck and to deal with Amanda Waller, an invitation would be nice.
We did! The signal got intercepted!
You couldn't just fly by the Justice League headquarters and go, hey, we're gonna go talk to Waller.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thor knocked down the watchtower, wrecked the Hall of Justice. Communications have been down. We were barely able to get a signal to Cyborg and the Bat computer.
You couldn't just show up at the Batcave? We're all hanging out there.
Now you tell us. I told you that from the start, guy.
You're all friends with Bruce. You're telling me you didn't think to go to the Batcave?
Bruce is extremely paranoid of us. Not to mention he's been laying low literally since the Joker's death. That's the last place anyone would think to look.
Well, obviously, the rings don't choose you for your intelligence. And then Superman just flies off.
You know, he's technically weakened right now. I have the shot. Don't.
Gardner, if you do... Gardner, go ahead. Do you want to deal with a pissed off Wonder Woman? Go ahead. Shoot him. See what happens.
Gardner, you're just going to make this worse for yourself. Just back down. Just stand down for now.
He's like, fine. Gosh, I liked it better when he was married to the princess who carries on a sword. So then they load up with Waller and they fly back to Oa. By the way, that was super entertaining. I would read that issue. Jeez. Superman showing up and going, everyone just calm down. They show up and they put Amanda Waller in front of Ganthet and Sade. Yes, human?
If your lanterns have peculiar, but also doesn't change the fact that you traversed outside of your planet and stole lantern property. Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, Aya was a sentient bioorganic being.
Made by us. So it's our technology.
But you used Earth resources to design and stabilize her AI, which we both know you stole from Ferris Industries.
Yeah, it's still our stuff. She's powered by the green power of will. That's Owen technology.
How do you think I found out about Aya? See, that's the thing about a woman's scorn, Hal. You might be able to prevent a fight itself, but sooner or later it's going to come back to bite you.
Ganthet, this is the human I've told you about. And then Ganthet holds its head and goes, I'm annoyed already.
But I must respect her gumption. She's willing to go through any means to secure the safety of her planet, even undermining her command. She reminds me of Hal in a way.
Hey! And Hal goes, hey!
A lot less reckless, more stern, more resolved.
Yeah, but when I do it, I look cool doing it. She just looks mean.
Effectiveness and showboating are two different things, Jordan.
It's always... I am known as the greatest Green Lantern for a reason. He says that he flies off.
Legends are clearly exaggerated.
So, okay, human. You have been brought before the Guardians of the Universe. What is this request you have of us?
Let's see. The fact that you're giving exclusive intel among not only the Norse, but multiple pantheons, information that would even deter Darkseid, and you refuse to share it with other entities, including Earth.
I share it with my Earth Lanterns, and they share it with your Justice League.
Which in turn have become part of the JLA, which are direct agents of the United States government. And the Lanterns have yet to procure such information. We had to file a subpoena on one of Hal's lovers to get the information. This was not appreciated.
Well, human. According to Hal and all of our human lanterns, there is a phrase on Earth that I feel is appropriate. Need to know information, and you don't need to know. And then Ganthet, and then you see Gardner going, "I'm so proud of you." And then Ganthet continues, "This information we shared with Jordan, Stewart, and Gardner. They in turn shared it with the Justice League, with the regular Justice League. That was all that was necessary, since they handle the protection of your entire planet, not just one arbitrarily geographic region."
I see you've done your homework, Ganthet. Or at the very least, a blowhard like Gardner gave you the Clip Notes version.
I do know everything. I am a guardian.
Need that as it may, John Stewart is also commissioned by the United States military. Therefore, he had an obligation to his country to convert such information on the League's behalf.
And then Stewart goes, "Actually, I retired from the Marine Corps when I got the ring."
The League, under the United States statute, the League was garnered as private sector, which means you still have at least a military commission obligation every fiscal year. Which means not only could I have your private sector status revoked, but I would have to make you official agents of the government, which would force you to, at least to the government, expose your secret identities.
All right, so try that when we have not one but two gods, a demigod, a god of the sea, and Batman. Try and conscript us into the government. See how that goes for you.
The most you'll be able to do is cut your team in half as they have political immunity.
I got news for you. The half that don't have diplomatic immunity are not going to abide by your plan. You may think that everyone bends around your little finger, Waller, but we actually don't.
The United Nations, which you both collaborate with for the good of the world, would disagree. After all, I was recently elected to secretary.
Okay, I see what you're going there. That's good. I like that.
Crap, she's winged us. Wait, but the Secretary of the United Nations? That announcement wasn't supposed to come out till tomorrow. But Waller knew she had warned ahead of time. She baited us. Classic Waller. Damn it. I'm willing to return the body. I just want to know what was so important about this android that Loki was willing to completely disregard your pact with the other pantheons and send Thor as his muscle to semi-invade Earth to claim her.
All right, and then how Haldron walks out. I'll tell you. Here's what we think. Here's what we know. We suspect. All right, so what you have to understand about Aya is that yes, she's composed of Green Lantern energy, but to stabilize it, we had to use part antimatter. And the problem with that is that antimatter is derived from the energy sources of like of the pantheons, like magic, such as Loki's magic, Thor's lightning. So, and this is exactly what we passed on to Bruce last week. We suspect that he got Aya to try and track where we were covertly obtaining the magic from.
A solid theory. But Diana would also like to converge of a legendary battle centuries ago. One of the few times where all shades of humanity was united.
I mean, the Darkseid invasion?
No, not Darkseid has traversed multiple worlds if the multiverse is to be believed, but there was a special totem that not only enhanced certain mystical artifacts, but is the key to piecing together the anti-life equation. But it has no physical form since the totem is comprised of cosmic energy.
Yes. And Loki, wanting payback for his brother, probably wanted to use Aya's body to essentially be that physical form.
And here's where the legend of Erebus comes in. Erebus is the manifestation of chaos, death, and anti-life. So if a certain conqueror, like Darkseid, gets his hands on the anti-life equation, yes, he'll be able to dominate those in his proximity, but the moment he generates enough power, the totem activates, the vessel becomes Erebus, and he'll lay siege across the entire multiverse, to where the gods won't be strong enough to stop him. Is that true, Guardians?
That is very astute, human. But so let me see how to respond to this. So if you have what you don't know is that the Justice League Dark has already been conducting their own investigation to the magic side. Wonder Woman has been consulting with her Amazon sisters and the few gods that are more conciliatory to us. So we've already been investigating this. So if it's all the same to you, we don't need your help.
Now, if you had just come forward with this information to us in the first place, this wouldn't have been necessary.
Have you met yourself?
You didn't follow protocol, so I was strictly ordered by the
There
president
is no
to retaliate.
protocol.
President Luthor would disagree.
We all know that was a bogus election.
But are you able to prove it?
Oh yeah, Batman does. Why do you think Luthor hasn't made a move against the League? there's one person you don't want to have blackmail on you, it's Batman.
We could play politics all day. I've honored my side of the agreement, and in this eye as clearly being analyzed in the data room.
Yeah, so if it's all the same to you, we'll just bring you back to Earth. I think you're done here.
Hold on, humans. This Waller could be an asset, and as a representative of your planet, proper coordination is in order. We can't risk another Kronos or any other ambitious entity traversing the galaxy.
But
At least
Ganthet, trust me, you do not want to trust this woman.
it's a necessary evil, Gardner.
Why doesn't anyone listen to me?
It's not that we don't listen to you, it's the fact that you're so obnoxious it's hard to take you seriously.
God damn it, Bruce was right. So, and then Hal goes, okay, so I guess you're staying on Oa a little longer.
I suppose. I'll have my secretary handle my affairs while I'm away. I'm sure you know her. She was quite the Star Sapphire for a time.
Oh, no. You got Carol? Are you kidding me?
Well, she wanted to be closer to you, and you constantly ditch her for galactic adventures. Not to mention, you tried to blackmail me.
I asked Carol to come with me many times. She didn't. She wanted to stay on Earth. And second off, I have Batman on speed dial. Of course, I have blackmail on you. Would you expect anything less?
Your little episode after the destruction of Coast City would disagree, Hal. Sure, Flashpoint wiped away a lot of things, but your infection by Parallax was not so quickly forgotten.
Yeah, but that wasn't me. I wasn't in control of my own actions.
Were you? Or did Parallax just entice what was already there? Gave you a convenient excuse?
And then Kilowog steps in and goes, listen here, human. If there's one thing, I've known Hal for many years. I've gone to combat with him. There's no one I trust more than Hal. So if I were you, I would watch your tongue. Poozer.
You really value your fellow Lanterns. If you had shown such resolve when your home planet was invaded, then maybe you wouldn't be the last of your kind.
And then...
No, Kilowog, don't do it. She's not worth it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Kilowog, just walk away. Walk away, dude. Walk away.
Good piggy.
And then as he walks away, he looks to Gardner and he goes, I don't like her. And then Gardner's like, yeah.
I tried to tell you.
Yeah. Okay. And then Hal speaks up. All right, Cruz and Baz, head back to Earth and at least update the Justice League on what's going on. They're going to want to know what happened here. Okay. So Cruz and Baz fly to Earth. And
Wait, so you mean to tell me Waller blue-balled the Guardians? Technically outmaneuvered them, but yes.
She's Waller. What do you expect, Wally?
It was my fault. If I had lashed out and picked a fight with Barry, she wouldn't have had the notion to act on her paranoia.
Really? A speedster acting on emotion screws everyone else. Where have we heard that before?
Oh, come on. You guys know full well I was justified. Two wrongs don't make a right, Wally.
To a certain degree, so is Barry in Flashpoint.
I thought we all agreed to let that go.
So Wonder Woman walks in. Can you guys just stop fighting for once?
Well, considering the loss of my legs, I was literally boiled alive by mystic lightning.
Oh my gosh. So let me get this straight. Lanterns. Waller's on Oa right now as a liaison with the Guardians, correct? Yes. Okay. What do you need from us? We're just updating you so you guys are aware and that there could be another fight coming to Earth. Just wanted to tell you that right now.
Oh, come on. After this, Loki's already in custody and Thor's dead. Who could possibly be left to pick a fight with us?
Trust me, the galaxy never fails to produce another being that's really angry at us.
And that will conclude volume 1. Now, volume 2 is going to be more laid back. Simon and Jessica, they don't really they're not really caught in the politics of all this. They're traversing the galaxy, kind of making their rounds. Okay, in volume 2, let's say it's a 6-month time skip and Gardner and Kyle are back on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I still say we're not ready for the field. I know you have a lot to prove, Simon, but being a bootlicker isn't going to do you any favors in the Corps.
Yeah, don't be a wuss.
Besides, it's a brief rotation to the far sector. We'll be back to O in 2 weeks' time.
All right, so they fly off, and then in the meantime, we get a ring flies down to Earth, and they're like, "What?" And then they fly, and then it flies off into the Batcave, and all of a sudden we hear the words, "Hippolyta Kent of the planet Earth, you have the ability to overcome great fear. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps."
Nope. I'm not doing this. No, hell no. How the hell? And then, while I believe your daughter has potential, she's Kryptonian. She's the daughter of the Amazon princess. And if the ring deems her worthy, then by all means. Just because she stems from a warrior culture doesn't mean she's old enough to fight.
She certainly was against Thor.
It was a cheap shot at best.
And then Hippolyta goes, "Hey!
Sweetie, not now. The adults are talking." So you have a petulant hybrid with one temper tantrum was enough to set off a supernova, and you don't want to encourage any precautions? She's my daughter. I can teach her how to control herself. I don't need some ring bearer keep binding her to a leash. I'm flattered, Mr. Kent, but we both know the rings don't work that way.
And then essentially, Hal walks forward. Clark, don't worry. Kyle and I will train her. We'll keep her away from Gardner. And Gardner goes, "Hey!" And then Hal goes, "She'll be fine with us. I give you my word as a fellow Justice Leaguer and as a brother, we will take care of her." The ring would not have chosen her if it didn't see something in her.
I want to make something perfectly clear. She is to remain strictly on Oa as any other recruit. If I even hear a distress call coming off from that ring, I will fly to Oa and kill you myself. Guardians be damned. I'll take that into consideration. I'll give you this, Scion. You're nowhere near the Boy Scout your brother was. At least he had respect.
Okay. Oh, by the way, the entire conversation, you have to have Superman's eyes glowing red.
Oh, he's going to have his heat vision at the ready the entire time. Clark, I lined this whole facility with lead. You wouldn't even be able to get a shot off if you tried.
And then Diana has her sword at Waller's neck. Yeah, and I'll be there too.
You honestly think I'm scared of you, Diana? Arrogant to the last. You're supposed to be an ambassador of peace for the Amazons and by extension, your fellow godlings. The moment you kill without degradation, you fail your purpose.
I believe the first American president has said to prepare for peace, prepare for war.
Well said, Diana. But are you really striking in the benefit of your country, the benefit of your world? Or are you just an overbearing mother lashing out purely out of instinct?
I care more for my family. And need I remind you that it was you people that locked up my husband when he first emerged as Superman. So let's just say I'm not your biggest fan.
That was prior to my entry into Argus. I was not anywhere relevant to that op.
Just like you're not relevant to this conversation.
And then Gardner's just screaming in the background.
Gardner's like, yes, I love you guys so much.
You should be glad this is a courtesy at all. We both know you didn't care whether or not Clark and I were a couple. You deemed us as a threat. You still are if Loki and Thor's actions are anything to be considered. Not to mention your birth father's overindulgence, which earned Hera's scorn and our first in Godkiller's wrath.
So you take out your frustration out on the child because of the actions of the parent. Yeah, that's real nice. That's real nice.
Technically, the ring chose her. The ring chose Hippolyta. She's not really relevant in this.
Yeah, Waller, in no way are you involved. Are you relevant to this conversation? A Green Lantern ring just showed up on my daughter's hand. Okay.
All I did was send a comm as a greeting. You're the one who went father mode and threatened to blast me with heat vision.
Because I don't want my child anywhere near you. Because next thing I know, she'll end up with a bomb in her neck.
Oh, please. We both know I only condemn criminals. Unlike you heroes.
You deem as criminals.
Let's see. Reverse Flash, Joker, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Manshock, Bronze Tiger.
Bronze Tiger's honorable, and since when have you ever gotten the Joker under your leash?
Well, if the near destruction of Metropolis is anything to go by.
Wait, are you telling me that was you?
Oh, no. Scarecrow managed to break into one of my facilities and had the help of a certain pheromone. Something tells me that Harley's little bestie had other intentions in mind. I've heard of catfights, but I never thought it would be this destructive.
All right, so I think we should advance the plot a little more because it's turning into a really long conversation. But I like how we keep trying to one-up each other. That's awesome. I love that. And I sure Gardner going, yes!
And then Kyle Rayner's just popping some popcorn from the manor. I'm like, what'd I miss?
Yeah.
You missed the...
I've just been enjoying the show.
And then, okay, so this is technically a filler issue. We just move on. Hippolyta lands on Oa and goes through training. She's excelling with flying colors. She's one of the top of her class. You're supposed to focus on your mental fortitude and concentration with the ring. Using your natural ability relies on a crutch. This is training, not a field exercise. I don't need you going soft on me just because of my parents.
Oh, trust me, Kilowog does not go soft on anyone. Oh, he's worse than Sergeant Deegan.
All right, Poozer. Hit me.
She does so, and it barely, pushes him back. Did I say tap me, Poozer? I said hit me.
Hippolyta's just a little girl. She doesn't have the mental fortitude for this. Don't you think he's being a little harsh on her? To an extent, but this is for Hippolyta's own good. Especially if she's going to wear that ring. Because talent can breed into arrogance real quick. So this is for her own good. He's not going to hurt her. He'll be tough on her, but Kilowog's not going to hurt her.
Yeah, the very fact that we're standing here knows that, and Kilowog may tell you otherwise, but he's never actually killed anyone in training.
Maybe gotten a few crybabies to back out, but other than that.
Oh, there are some crybabies. Maybe a few of them lost a limb. No big deal. So we advance more in her training. She graduates as the Lantern and is assigned as her observation officer, Jessica Cruz.
Okay.
Kind of unconventional a little bit. And plus, it gives Jessica more of a job to focus on instead of her fear.
I see you pass all your combat drills and your academics, but your weakest area was constructs. It's not that I'm not concentrating, it's just this is the longest you've ever been far from home. You can't channel willpower if you're plagued by fear. At least that's what they're supposed to say, but everything's so abstract, I don't even know what that means.
And then Cruz goes, "Well, let me ask you this: what did the ring say when it approached you? It said you have the ability to overcome great fear, and that's what willpower is: the ability to push past fear." Let me tell you a story. When I was your age, when I was a little older than your age, I was camping with some friends, and we stumbled upon a mob, a group of mobsters bearing a body, and then my friends were killed in front of me. From that point on, I was agoraphobic. I wouldn't leave the house. I was scared of everything. Then this evil ring from another Earth showed up. Long story. The point is, I became a Green Lantern, and it took me a while to realize that it's not. It's they tell you a Green Lantern's supposed to be fearless, but that's not actually what the job description is. The job description is you have to be able to push past any type of fear. That's what willpower is.
So don't feel like you have a burden just because you're a little homesick.
If anything, that should make you even more willful because you're defending your home.
And that's a sweet moment. And then all of a sudden, wait, quick question. Does Oa get thunderstorms? And
In
then
terms of
this
her
is
powers,
no,
it get thunderstorms. I don't know. I think I saw it was raining once in a Green Lantern thing. I think.
because all of a sudden lightning cracks and a hammer smacks Hippolyta right in the head. But not just any hammer,
Oh,
Mjolnir.
oh, he's.
Thrud, the daughter of Thor, wants her revenge.
Oh, I like this. All right. All right. I like how this goes. And then, so they engage in combat. And obviously, right now, Hippolyta's getting her ass kicked because
Oh no, she stands no chance. She
she's
stands no
very
chance.
experienced, including and even Cruz is like getting beaten around to where she throws up the Green Lantern distress call and has to wait for backup.
And then Waller is in the brig. I'm like, I warned you this would happen.
How does
Yeah,
Waller know what's going on?
because Waller is very a good judge of character. One, the fact that the news of Thor's death. Two, Odin, at least in the mythology, as he's the All Father, observes everything that's going on around him.
Mm-hmm.
And Thrud wants revenge on Hippolyta for the death of her dad.
All right. So they engage in combat. And then all of a sudden, the Bifrost Bridge opens and Zeus shows up and goes, "Thrud, stand down."
So what? Because she's your granddaughter, I'm supposed to let this transgression slide?
And by the way, this is Odin, not Zeus, but basically the same guy. What is this solving right now? I'd rather not have my daughter, who's married to a sun god, really pissed off at me. I get enough of that with Hera.
Oh, so now you care about your progeny. Before or after they turn against you?
I've always cared about my progeny.
I'll admit I can't control my lust, but I wouldn't say I outright abandoned them. But you're too young for this conversation. She's a defenseless child who barely can use her powers.
She acted in self-defense against your father. It's your father's own fault that he got taken over by Loki and picked a fight with the Justice League.
Which he had all but won, by the way.
Which he had all but won until this particular individual acted in self-defense of her family.
You even bent the rules and had the Amazons restored for them.
Yes, because I don't want my daughter and granddaughter to be alone.
And that's on me. I may have exploited a loophole, but I'm not the one dragging the rest of the universe into a petty blood feud.
Because guess what? And by the way, it's not just about my progeny. I don't want my creation to get blown up. Okay? Because I have seen firsthand and unfortunately participated in the gods' petty squabbles, and it ceases now.
On whose authority,
On
Zeus?
my authority, and he smacks his lightning thing into the ground.
And then all of a sudden, a raven flies across the skyline, and then Odin and Zeus face off. I
Oh,
don't want I don't want the girl dead, Zeus. I'm merely here to make a deal.
what kind of deal?
We both know the entity that is Aya is too dangerous to remain active. But we also know that your progeny have conspired against ours in the death of Zeus and the death of Thor. I'll order my granddaughter to cease if you give the Aya android to me and Asgard. At least in a separate realm, in a separate dimension. Darkseid and his cronies won't have access to it. You're not exactly known to be trustworthy among multiple pantheons, Odin. You always have your own agenda. You're no different than that Waller woman.
Yeah, but I have a line as opposed to Waller, who will exploit her entire her own family to get what she wants.
And given how lucrative our feuds go, this is the only scenario where your granddaughter gets out of this alive. If I were you, I'd take it. Damn you, Odin. Contact the Guardians. Arrange for the Aya android to be acquiesced. We're done here. And then Razor is furious at this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I lost her once. I'm not losing her again. It's not your call, Razor.
And then and then he walks into the Green Lantern barracks, and there's like all the lanterns freshly charged and ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna go grab Aya, right?
If you want Aya, you're gonna have to go through me.
No. The lanterns are going to back up Razor.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure we confirm that.
Mm-hmm.
Lanterns, don't do this. We're sick and tired of the Pantheon's petty squabbling.
Then all of a sudden, a boom tube opens, and Superman and Wonder Woman walk through and go, "Okay, which one of you attacked our daughter?"
You know what? I'm not in this. Nope. I quit. But and this is Gardner. Like, no.
Yeah. Gardner's like, nope, I'm done. There are too many powerful people over here.
Waller, we warned you what would happen. I'm afraid you can't pin this one on me, Diana. But I will admit, the ring did prepare her for what was to come. She's in the barracks, blunt force trauma, hurt badly. By all accounts, she has a concussion. The daughter of Thor did quite a number on her.
And then Superman goes, Odin, if you or any of your progeny even look in my daughter's direction again, let's just say I've killed one god before, I'm willing to bend my rule again.
Cute, Kryptonian. But I'm not here for you or petty squabbles. I'm here to actually preserve the balance and keep warmongers like you and Darkseid in check.
Warmonger, you're the one whose progeny attacked my daughter.
You forget. Remember the Darkseid's altercation?
Because he tried to kidnap my daughter.
Did he now?
Yes, he did. He showed up, tried to boom tube away from her, and it's a good thing I got there when I did.
I said that. Fair enough. But you have to understand that the more a god's bloodline expands, the more mystical energy they inherit. Darkseid intended to use your daughter as a power battery to reawaken the totem. And last time I checked, her abduction was very discreet. The only reason you found out about it was because I told you. You just didn't recognize my form at the time. Bard has been in deep cover on Apocalypse with me on behalf of the gods for some time. I'm a bit of a shapeshifter myself. This probably where Loki learned all his mischief, modeling me.
Like father, like son. So what do we do now? How do we resolve this?
I can keep my granddaughter in check. She's rising to be a Valkyrie, but she's young and vengeful. I merely want the body of the robot, so we can ensure that Darkseid never gets its hands on her, which would be his ideal chance to awaken a totem.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not getting that body, says Hal as he walks forward. Sorry, we promised Razor over here that he would have the body. It's not happening.
I tried to be diplomatic about this. Grood, my fellow Asgardians, attack.
And then Wonder Woman goes, wait, hang on a second. Why don't we just bring it to Themyscira and just have everyone just go full shields up and protect it?
After the stuff, you really want to leave that to chance. One of your own is a progeny of Darkseid. Have you forgotten the one that is Grail?
Oh, she's not on our side at all. No. But what is going on with Grail at this point in the comics? I have no idea.
This is around the time with Baby Darkseid, where he's kind of like killing guys to get his physique back.
Okay.
And this is where Odin tells him as such. After what happened with the Anti-Monitor, Darkseid lost a lot of his power, which means he's been killing deities in order to regain his strength. You send Aya to Themyscira. Not only do you risk losing your sisters, but you condemn the entire multiverse. That's why I intervened, because I knew you would pull such a half-baked stunt such as this.
Oh, so and you're like more prepared to protect it should Darkseid come for Aya. Is that what you're telling me?
Asgard is one of the few that's actually cut off from the multiverse itself. Have you ever heard of the World Tree of Yggdrasil?
Of course we have. I used to read that story.
Midgard, or as you call Earth, just happens to be a constant in any manifestation of the multiverse. Hence why the likes of Thor and Loki had access to your world. Asgard is a completely separate plane of existence that not even boob tubes can cross over. Hence the need of the Bifrost. I have no intention of activating or using the robot for nefarious purposes. It's merely a safeguard measure. No more, no less. You're welcome to visit her any time. With the proper tributes and credence of respect, of course. Razor.
And then Hal turns to Razor. Okay, listen, dude, how about this? You go with them, and that way you're with the body. That way you can know it's safe. And that way we don't end up causing another battle, because I don't think the Justice League could handle another battle right about now.
Fine. I'll be cordial. But if he even thinks of touching her, I'll burn his realm to the ground. Is such a threat? Is that a threat, mortal? No, he's just kidding. Razor the kidder.
Yeah, that's guy going, isn't he hilarious? And they say I'm the comedian of our group.
Shut up. This is literally our best chance to prevent a bloodbath. So don't run your mouth. The last thing I need is the likes of a blowhard like you preaching to me. Razor, I know you're angry, but be nice.
Yeah, so they take Aya's body, Razor carries her, and then they go to Asgard.
So that's the end of that?
Yeah.
For now. But where there is light, darkness is always there to meet it. I fear that as if we've only delayed the inevitable. Maybe. But we'll face it together. All of us. And then we get a final panel of Grail and Baby Darkseid, and maybe a little bit of setup for Dark Knight's Metal. because Doomsday Clock would have gotten delayed around this time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. And by the way, so for right now, I think Doomsday Clock should be like the final event of the event after this, because remember we're still in the very beginning of Rebirth, because this was like the first event of DC Rebirth.
Okay, that's fair.
And so, so what I did is that the reason why Superman's in the Unchained armor is because in the same way that like the black suit is the regeneration suit, the Unchained armor is like a more jacked up version of that. So it's like healing him faster.
And technically, he did wear the black suit as Scion, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's just to like change it up a little bit. Except he's wearing the black, the steel and red one that I have up there on my shelf.
Well, I forgot to mention, where's Shazam in all of this? Because you think he'd be pretty prevalent in everything going on.
Oh yeah, he at this point, probably in the next arc, he comes in to like fill in probably for Aquaman or some of the other bruisers on the Justice League.
Probably. So this new roster with half the Justice League injured and the JLA being merged into the team, and this is like an early setup for Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah. So it's essentially the main team we have is Superman, Wonder Woman, Nightwing. Yeah, obviously Nightwing, Shazam, and let's see who else.
Mara as Aquawoman because Arthur's still recovering.
And then I would say put on Cruz as the League's Lantern.
Not
actually no. Actually, no. She's training Hippolyta. I would
Simon
go with
Bass.
Okay, yeah. Let's go with Simon Bass. He hasn't done. DC really hasn't done a lot with his character.
I agree.
So essentially, that's currently and by the way, Wonder Woman's armor. She's in like the Golden Kingdom Come suit.
Definitely, and man, this was a pretty good storyline. I mean, I get this was like 2 volumes, but still. I would read this omnibus.
Oh yes, I would read this entire like universe, because this is essentially a new 52, but better, but properly managed.
I feel like we would get some pushback for Through versus Hippolyta because it's essentially a teenager beating up a little kid.
Yeah, but I mean, but here's the thing. We can make it where because of the genetics, she's aging a little faster. So she's not exactly like 12 years old or so.
Okay.
Because remember, wasn't there like a 10-year time skip?
Yes.
5 to 10 year. How old was she during the Thor fight?
During the Thor fight, she was about 6 or 7. Now she's in her early teens.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not exactly like being up a kid. Plus, Thor's kids are immortal, so who knows how old they are at this point.
That is true.
Yeah, and then currently Bruce is working as a liaison between Waller and the Justice League, and he's pissed because she kind of circumvented him.
Yeah, but they kind of walked into that situation by not disclosing to Waller and Argus from the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. If there's one thing you don't want to, if there's one person you don't want to lie to, it's Amanda Waller.
But man, going after Carol to get the information, that's just low. I mean, yeah, it's something Waller would do, but come on.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised how Hal didn't straight up punch her. But you know the way it works. But in terms of like. In terms of what character I would address next for our next thing, we could do Shazam, we could do Flash, maybe we could do Suicide Squad.
Okay, Suicide Squad, because other than being part of Argus and Waller's strike team, they virtually had nothing to do. They didn't even bother contributing to the Thor fight. They just did crowd control the whole time.
Yeah, because they're like, there's no way we're doing it. There's no way we're possibly helping.
I mean, would Harley Quinn still be on the team after what Poison Ivy's done for her? Because I did tease it earlier in the video that Poison Ivy had a role with Scarecrow and Joker getting the nuke.
I think that Harley Quinn would feel very betrayed for what happened because she knows that if she messes with, because she's familiar with like what happens when you piss off Superman, and she's like, no, that's going way too far. That's going way too far, Red.
Yeah, but okay. I will go ahead and say this. As we go through Rebirth, we'll eventually hit a 10-year time skip, and let's just say a certain, well, okay, essentially, Daddy's Little Monster. That's all I can say.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's a great idea. I like that.
And we covered. Wait, has Simon Bass has anything to do this entire episode other than just petty banter?
I don't think so. We could do just the Simon Bass centered episode.
Yeah. So you want to do? So you want to do another Green Lantern Simon Bass?
Let's take a break and do another character for our next episode, and then come back to Simon Baz.
Okay.
Because he's now the Lantern on the Justice League.
Yeah, he is going to be part of Justice League. So, Flash, and then we talk Flash. That we talk about Wally and Artemis and how their relationship's going.
Yeah,
how Jay and Irie feel about it.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, the Justice League team is called Justice League Reincarnate. or Justice League Reborn, one of those two.
Yeah, because when we get to the time beyond Rebirth, we're gonna have about a few year time skip, and then we're. Sorry, I just can't get the tune out of my head.
Yeah. I swear, we need to make for when we play DC Online on streaming, we have to absolutely make an intro that's like DC, like JLU or JL.
Definitely. But I feel like that's a good place to call it. Jared, thank you for stopping by.
Anytime. I love geeking up at lanterns.
And like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. And good night.